Welcome to a Shadow Rock. This is my second video for the day. Woohoo! And bandanas. So I'm about to review another show. For this one, we have 15 years of Revolution tour, which is Ill Niño's celebration of their first CD. Let's begin, shall we, with a little introduction of the bands that played. To start off, we have Voodoo Terror Tribe. Gil on vocals, Amir, guitar, Primer, bass, T-Bone, drums. The Sun Shining Cold, it's their new CD. It's out. I would go buy it. It sounds great. You can also get their EP, helps if it's turned around correctly, called A Walk in Hell. Their new video and single for this album is called City of Sixes. Next up, we had Shattered Sun. Marcos, vocals, Daniel, guitar, Jesse, guitar, Joseph, bass, Robert, drums, and Henry, keys and samples. Their debut album is out. It's called Hope Within Hatred, and this band is from Alice, Texas. They solidified their lineup in 2011. Next up, we have the first band I ever interviewed and photographed, and hopefully the pictures I took this time were better than the first time I did it. We have Sean, guitar and vocals, Marty, guitar and vocals, Dave, guitar and vocals, Tommy, drums, and Jimmy, bass and vocals. This band is from Columbus, Ohio, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and they have 7 albums out. If you haven't heard about them, what the fuck? Their newest one came out July 17th of 2015, and that is Anything That Moves. Before that, Charlatan's Web, which came out September 10th, 2013. Then we had Hell in My Heart, 2011, Chemical Valley, 2010, Tales from Dirt Town, 2007, Apologize for Nothing, 2005, and their first album, Primitive Epic, 2003. Now for the headliners, the mighty Ill Niño. I don't think I have to, but I'm gonna. Christian, vocals, Dave, drums, Laz, bass, Aru, lead guitar, Diego, rhythm guitar, and Oscar, percussion. This band is out of New Jersey, and they have a shit ton of albums. Revolution Revolucion, Confession, One Nation Underground, Enigma, Dead New World, Epidemia, Till Death, La Familia. Which I said right! Laz had to correct me in the interview. I remember that. To start out with, I'm going to start talking about the bands themselves. I'm going to avoid what really bothered me about the show, which has nothing to do with the bands. I fucking promise. Voodoo Terror Tribe. The lead singer, Gil, was sick and they didn't have much room to move. They only had the ability to stand in one spot. One had to pretty much move off stage for the other one to get past him. It's hard to tell how good a band is live when they're unable to move, but they sounded great. Next up was Shattered Sun. They really had no room to move. They had even more members. Their drum set was smaller, more members, so they weren't able to move much, but I really liked their sound. Next up we had Bobaflex, and I think you could tell that they were a little bit annoyed, at least Marty and Sean did. Sean's mic cut out at one point, which ended up being Marty's mic later, and he seemed annoyed because it wasn't doing as hot as it should have. Bobaflex, they're always great. I like it when they have a longer set because then they can play some of their other songs, which I really enjoy. Home, which is the first song I ever heard from Bobaflex. Next up we have Ill Niño, and the crowd finally got involved! The crowd went nuts. It was small, but oh my god, were they there. Despite the crowd being really small, Ill Niño played their heart out. They went with the crowd. They had a very tight window of time that they were allowed to play. The venue keeps double booking. There was a show after and they had to be done by fucking 9. So they weren't able to interact with the crowd as much, which really kind of bothered me. All the bands kind of were like that, to be honest. It's not their fault, it's the venue's fault. But Ill Niño was great. Ill Niño is always fabulous. I've seen them twice now. I would like to see them with a bigger crowd. They played at Spicoli's the next night, which that's where I originally saw them in Waterloo. Spicoli crowds are always great, at least from what I've seen. They're always active. Maybe not during the first couple bands, but as more people come, they try to mosh. For my big thing, I realize if you're not there for a band and you don't know them, you tend not to get into it, but you can at least give them the decency of trying to be interactive. This picture I took was during Voodoo Terror Tribe. That's fucking terrible. But it was 4:45 on a Tuesday. Shit. I'm not gonna complain about the crowd too much because it's just a rant that kind of gets old. Come on, Des Moines. I need you to show up, alright? That's it for Shadow Rock. I am your host, Alex. This has been my concert review of the 15 Years of Revolution tour stop at Lefty's in Des Moines, Iowa on June 7th. It was fabulous. Go check out all the bands involved, and we'll see you at the rock show.